Greetings, geniuses. This video is going to cover a topic from an INFJ perspective, as usual. And we're going to talk about the INFJ Masterclass. And it may not be what you think by the title. What I want to talk about was how INFJs can be the master of whatever we set our minds to. And that may seem like quite the statement, and that we can do it better than most. But what I found is that I have the ability and confidence to do multiple things very well. The problem, and I think most of us have this problem, is that we just don't fully commit to it, or we take on too many things, and we just like doing a little of this, a little of that. But we can be great teachers and simultaneously great artists, writers, and lots of different things. Those are just the first few that come to mind because they're some of my interests. But it's kind of a weird problem to have, and a lot of it has to do with our current maturity level and priority level, because no doubt we are also huge daydreamers, and we can get hung up daydreaming on the wrong things. And we're not angels, we're not perfect, we have plenty of faults. So, of course, all those very human things get in the way, too. But nonetheless, I find it both interesting and pretty cool as an INFJ that we at least have that ability, that diverse gift and focus ability to be able to do multiple things very well. And so I think if there's ever any personality that could be the jack of all trades and do it well, it's the INFJ. But again, with every affirming statement I make, there's going to be a negative one popping into my brain a second later. Not negative, but just reality. Fact that we can only do so much. We're not superhuman. We're not a mythical creature of any kind, and we have very real faults and weaknesses, just like all the other personalities. But if there's someone that you could go to and try to get the most honest counseling, teaching, and help from, and just unbiased in general, I would say that INFJ would be one of the best people you could go to, because we tend to be upfront and honest about our faults, or if we don't know something. And I do teach as well. I teach some different instruments and musical and entrepreneurial kind of coaching on occasion. And I can honestly say that I use my wisdom, experience to the best of my ability. And I think I have a lot of it, yet at the same time, I'm very open and upfront if somebody asks something and I don't know. Maybe it's about marketing, for instance, because that's not one of my strengths, even though I have taken some classes and whatnot and been a part of some very amazing groups and got lots of great information. But if there's a question that somebody asks me, I will not just try to blurt out some answer or something that makes me sound intelligent. And I've had a lot of teachers that do that. And what happens with those kind of fake teachers or scam artists, if you will, is that for most people, you can't tell if they're right or not, if they're leading you in the right direction or not until months or years later. And it works for the most part, except for eventually that person, that student, is going to realize it years later and be just like, oh, that guy was a chump. He didn't know what he was talking about. Whatever. So it's obviously not good for your reputation and not good for helping the student. But that's what I meant by the INFJ Masterclass, is that we can give masterclasses on various topics in the sense that we will try to give you 100% factual, experiential information. And nobody has all the answers anyway, right? So that's part of that realization is why we know we can be genuine and upfront, not have all the answers, and still be a great teacher. Because that's what a great teacher is one that doesn't try to fool you, mislead you in any way just to make themselves bigger, better, but they actually give you honest and helpful feedback. And as I say that, the first person that comes to mind is Jordan Peterson, because here is a man who can talk circles around me and probably just about everyone listening to me right now. And when you listen to him talk, sometimes you'd have to replay what he said a couple times or just listen super closely to keep up with what he's saying, because his sentences will have so much depth and so many different ways that you can read into it and get info from it more than the average person. But yet, he will just break down into tears. He will confess his limitations, and he's just a really impressive person to listen to and to watch, because he is very transparent and authentic. And I probably love that about him just as much as his wisdom. So INFJs can appreciate that. And I think all I wanted to get out of this video is that whether you're an INFJ or not, you do have multiple capabilities. And it's really just a choice to decide to use them and get rid of the other distractions. You don't have to be a flawless expert of whatever topic you choose. And that's one of the other main things I want to get out, is just, if you're authentic about it, if you do your best, and you just be honest with yourself and others. And one of the biggest things, I said before, be consistent. Do it every day, even if it's just 5 minutes. You're going to become so amazing at it within a few months and a year, 5 years. Consistency is really the biggest thing, to just keep progressing and expanding your abilities. And you don't have to know it all. That's one of the best parts. So I hope that was informative for you, interesting, and entertaining in some way. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. So until next time, I'll see you soon, genius.